All right, now we're live. What's up,
We're
everybody?
Hey, hope your day is going well.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Relevant Rants here. Mike Harvey, Tom Touchstone.
We're going to be relevant today.
Well, we're going to try.
We are, Mike.
So we had a fun night last night.
We did. We had a good meeting. We had something that Mike and I are involved with. It's kind of a mental health thing for pastors around the nation.
Yeah.
And we're planning a schedule. And we'll be letting you guys know a lot about that later on. So, I had a rough day yesterday, Mike.
You did. What happened?
Well, it's funny. You know what happened. So if I could set the stage for you guys, yesterday we're moving to Nashville in 4.5 months, and we're getting a dishwasher replaced. And so the repairman came yesterday, and it was a little bit of confusion, Mike. It was.
That's what I heard.
It was a little bit of confusion, and you did hear it literally. And so I had to call my wife, who was superintendent of a school district, and she goes, "Yeah, Tom, I'm in a meeting." And I go, "Well, I'm sure you're in a meeting, but the dishwasher people are here to install it, and they said they aren't paid to take away the other one." She goes, "I paid to do that." And I go, "Sure." I go, "Yeah, I'm sure you did, and but they aren't taking it." And so I worked it. My wife said, "I got to go." So I worked it out where we're going to take it. And as I was getting ready for the Zoom meeting with Off the Mountain Wilderness Retreat, you heard me. Tiffany came in, and we got in a little bit of a tiff. My wife.
You got in a tiff with Tiff?
Yeah, and so we started kind of beefing, and Mike goes, "Hey, we can hear you." And I was like, I don't know if you've ever been in this mode, but if you've ever been in the mode where you really don't care.
I think I'm always in that mode.
We really didn't care, and so we had a little bit of a marital moment, and we got over it, and we had a great meeting. And when I got off the meeting, my wife came in and said they delivered the wrong dishwasher. How did they do that? I don't know if you've ever been there. They installed it. She goes, "Here's my invoice."
Well, that's your fault.
I ordered a GE, and they installed a Samsung. And I go, "Well, if I'd have had that invoice, I would have probably recognized that in there." Of course, that started another little insurrection in my house. My wife goes, "So it's my fault?" And I go, "No, I just would have been more prepared. If they were there trying to install the wrong dishwasher, I'd have probably caught them." So tell Billy hi.
Yeah, can
Billy?
we say hi to Billy
Yeah,
Elliott?
hey,
What's
Billy.
up? Billy's been in our studio.
Oh yeah. Well, Mike,
speaking of Tiffany's on your
So I told Billy yesterday that we're going to be launching Ministry Matters.
Yeah.
So Billy, we're launching Ministry Matters, and Billy's a part of our show. We'll get Billy back on, and excited to have you out there, Billy. So yeah. So we're going to jump into, we got a funny video today. We're going to talk about some serious topics, but I got a funny video I'd like you guys to
check it
digest.
Friend who doesn't know what inflation is yet. I was like, "How you feeling about this inflation?" He's like, "That's like balloons, right?" I was like, "Oh no. Oh, this is not looking good." I was like, "How do you not yet know what inflation is?" He's like, "Oh, I remember they first started talking about it. It was scary. But then they kept talking about it, and now I've heard the word inflation so many times, it's lost all its value." I'm like, "Man, I think you just defined inflation." He's like, "Whatever it is, I don't buy it." I was like, "Oh, there we go."
I love that video, Mike. And, so if you guys haven't paid attention to some of the news, yesterday in the news, the inflation numbers went up. And so as they went up to 3.4 from 3.1. So Mike, I was pretty good in math, but not great. So would you say 3.4 is greater than 3.1?
I think so. I don't know. Biden might say it's lower, but
so according to Bidenomics, we're getting better. I don't believe
What's
so.
a higher number? That's better, right?
I don't believe so, because I was in Nashville a few weeks ago for Christmas, and my son-in-law filled up his truck. He's got a Dodge Ram truck like I do, Mike. It's a
it wasn't $150, was it?
No, it was $66. So I told him, "I'll pay for this."
Right.
I go, "So Danny, I wanted
and
to."
then you have it pay for what when you get back here.
Well, I said, "Danny, wow, that wasn't your truck wasn't empty." He goes, "Yeah, it was. You're buying gas in Nashville." And I go,
Right.
"You're right," and it really made me, Nashville envious, because I realized that it's cheaper to buy gas in Tennessee. So if it's cheaper to buy gas in Tennessee than is in California, What's the difference? It's the state, it's the taxing, because gas really costs the same. I mean, when you're buying a petroleum product, I mean, if you've been in business. So I like that video. Have you ever had a friend that doesn't understand inflation?
Well, but there's more to the gas in California, right? Than just
they throw all the taxes on there.
Not only the taxes, they make them have a special blend and everything. It's California blend. What they're like, I don't know, just do something to make it cost more money.
Well, it's funny because they throw special taxes on us,
right?
That I'm not even sure we can figure it all out.
Nah.
Of course. So I don't want to get on a big deal, but inflation's a big deal. It's costing everybody across America more to live in our current climate than it did 4 years ago.
Right. Or 1 year ago or 1 month ago. Right.
Well, yeah, because it's going up 3.1, now 3.4. And it does matter. I mean, it's one of those things that if you don't think it matters,
well, Tom, I'll
keep doing this. And if it keeps ticking up, we're going to get to a point where
I know from just personal experience, I've talked about this with Ludavia, that our bills when we lived in Texas,
because you did live in Texas during the COVID.
Yeah, for a little while.
My wife Round Rock with our friend Benito. Yeah.
Pastor B.
He didn't live with Benito. He went to Benito's church.
We went to Benito's church.
Who's helping us
Benito last night?
Who's helping us with Off the Mountain?
But anyway, we took home about the same as what we do now, but and I choose to live frugally.
Mm-hmm.
But we had way so much money left over at the end of every week when we were there, and now it's like we're barely I'm gonna have to take on more money basically. So Billy says diesel is about $2 cheaper a gallon in Nevada when I go see my mom. Yeah, I mean,
thank you, Billy.
Thanks for contributing, Billy. Everywhere outside of California is cheaper, but I mean, inflation.
Can I hold you a second, Billy? Remember to have us remind us. I need to talk to you about Off the Mountain Pastor Retreat.
Yes, sir.
Really? I mean, Billy's a pastor. Billy is that bivocational pastor where he works a job to give him an opportunity to minister, and that's a really devoted pastor. So if you go into Billy's church, you got a guy out there who's really
but we're talking about how things are worse in California. We were talking about earlier about the gun laws, right? So that's like ping pong back and forth, like for like the past few weeks. But I mean, that's always the case with California and the gun laws. But I think it's important that people actually know the truth, because we have friends of ours that don't even know like where we stand. And I mean, it's minute by minute, really, right? But
well, I am a CCW carrier, and legally, and since we have a governor who wants to make sure no one carries gun. He threw out a law, or he set a law that said that no one could carry in public places
unless you're a criminal.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Mike. And they don't need any permits to carry.
Oh, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want, and of course they're going to obey the laws. So you can't carry a gun in any place that people gather. Churches or whatever. And he's already tried this once and it got overturned because it's not constitutional. And he tried it again. So we have a good friend that basically came to church on Sunday and didn't carry because he has every right to, but he didn't because he didn't know the law. But that's going back to the video we had. The words was scary in the beginning, but this is a tactic for people who, try to keep coming against things, and they just keep the narrative out there because people start to not know what's legal and not what is legal. So not Biden, but Newsom right now, our comrade Newsom in California has come. Are we going to get in trouble for saying that, Mike?
For saying Newsom?
No.
Comrade?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, he works for the Chinese government, doesn't he?
Hey, I tell you what, did he not clean California up like that? So we know it can be done. So why don't we just keep it clean?
Yeah.
You did it for the Chinese dictator, according to Joe Biden. That's what Joe Biden calls, Xi Jinping. So you could do it for just Californians, right? And so as you're out there, Newsom just wants to keep the noise alive in our head that you can't carry in public places if you have a lawful CCW. Oh man, all the sheriffs have said we can't enforce it because
it's not even legal to enforce.
They know the law. They know the law.
You're trying to make the law enforcement officers criminals too. You just like criminalize everybody.
Well, that's what I thought. I mean, they know that it's not legal. Doesn't Newsom have people around him that tell him this stuff?
I mean, he's a dictator, right?
Well, we're a one-party state.
What did Pastor Rob call him? The King of California?
Yeah, Rob McCoy, who got us canceled off of a platform. You know, last time I told you were with me, Mike, when we saw Rob in San Diego at Turning.
Well, we just saw him in Phoenix.
Yeah, we did Turning Point events, and I told him, I go, Rob, man, dude, get you on. I want to have you back on my show, but every time you come on my show, I get canceled. And he said, "Praise Jesus."
That's like a feather in the cap, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like a badge of courage. So as we're there, we're just saying that you've got to pay attention, and I think that's something that if you don't pay attention, we're going to be what would you say it, Mike? We're going to be less informed because they're going to try to get us just to buy in.
And if you're less informed, you might be a Democrat.
And
voter.
If you say it loud enough and long enough, then you are confused about it. So you just be sure you stay out there. Billy says, I'm at work right now and just wanted to touch base with you guys. May the Lord bless and keep you. Thank you there again,
Thanks,
Billy. Thank you. So go out and spread the word at work today. I'm really proud of Billy.
Yeah, and speaking of, there's something that we're making a lot of changes here at 511 and the shows and everything else. One of the things we're doing is trying to make this more interactive. So if you're watching this and you have some comments, we're going to make sure and interact with y'all as well. And there's some really cool things we have in the works that you're going to be seeing this year. So
yeah. So as we're out there, Mike, we're just talking about things that are going on, and I think this next one, and I think it's our next story. This involves us, and it involves some of our friends in media.
Yeah,
some of our friends are Daily Wire, and I know Daily Wire, actually filed a lawsuit against Biden administration because of being censored on certain platforms. But right now we have an appeals court slapped Biden's administration for contact with social media companies. So Biden's group is talking, and it's what contributed to the confusion during COVID, if I can call it that. Because I think Fauci now is coming out, even as of today, and he's backing down away from some of the things that they were saying during COVID when he was in charge. And you could just say anything you wanted, and it became the law.
Well, he was kind of a little bit of a dictator too, wasn't he?
Well, I think they thought it would work, and I think it was one of the devil's biggest tricks that came against the church during that time, and I think against liberties of Americans, or against the Bill of Rights and free speech. But they came up with stuff, and now they're saying that the 6 feet thing was just a good recommendation.
It's just something they made up.
Yeah.
But we were talking about earlier.
But Mike, remember we were at Cal State and we had to put signs that you could, they were making us put signs where you could only stay so far from each other. Yeah. They were just telling you. So if they're just making it up, what else are they making up?
The whole thing.
Didn't we hear that the
vaccine? They make up the virus? They literally created it in a lab.
Didn't they even say, well, one of the labs was in Fresno, right?
Right.
We still haven't heard about that.
That was for more efficient production.
Yeah. It was owned by the Chinese. I don't know. Yeah. Don't get me started on that. So let's stay on track, Tom. So, so as you're out there, you can't buy the narrative, because the narrative is trying to take away our freedoms for things that aren't really true. Because now we were told, and I love it when people play the montage of Joe Biden saying, take the vaccine and you won't get COVID. Take the booster. And if you followed all that, and like I'm sitting here, I took the vaccine. I took the J&J, which I think.
And I forgive you for that.
I think I followed my doctor's advice, which I was doing, and my doctor gave me the best news he gave. But then after that, he didn't want me to take any more boosters.
Right. Because he finally got the news.
Yeah. Well, the J&J was different than the Pfizer one. And so as they didn't give us a lot of choices, they just said, do it. A lot of people did it. We're seeing a lot of implications now, Mike. and we could go down rabbit holes after rabbit holes.
We need to get Mr. Rabbit Hole back on this show.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny and Steve.
Oh, Steve, yeah. Get my son-in-law back on the show.
We can bring them on together.
Oh, we should let them do it without you and I in town.
That'd be fun. Right?
You guys would really enjoy that. So as we go out there, just realize that the Biden administration is for themselves. They are there, and they're saying, if it's not what our narrative is, we want all social media to be curtailed from being able to say it.
Yeah.
And if we backtrack and see what happened earlier, we got to realize it's not. Now the appellate court upholds it.
Well, I mean, the
appellate court agrees with this. Isn't that scary, Mike? But that's what I love about our system.
Nobody's got Biden's back at this point. I mean, the Hunter just showed up on Capitol Hill yesterday at the Capitol building. He's like, hey, I'm here. What paparazzi moment?
What was all that about? And man, did those two gals have some cojones, huh?
Right, yeah.
They went after it, and poor Biden got his feelings hurt, and he walked out. Hunter.
Right? Oh, yeah.
But you can't. What I love, you and I heard Donald Trump Jr.
The thing is, the Bidens just think they can do just whatever they want, and they have gotten away with doing whatever they want for a long time. But I mean, at this point, even the libs are turning again. I mean, you hear what Jimmy Kimmel said about Biden the other day? Oh, he's just trashing on him. He's like making fun of his the same thing we have all been saying for years.
So as you and I
can't even coherently carry on a sentence.
So you and I were he's a drug addict.
No, not Hunter. I'm talking about Joe. Joe might be too. Who knows?
But... Well, you do see now that they have Jill leading him off stage, and that is such a pathetic sight.
Well, because he can't make it off stage by himself. He's like, which way do I go? Where am I at?
I remember when my mom was 93, she was walking and acting like Joe is now at what, 83?
Yeah, it's sad.
And so you and I got to be at Turning Point TP America.
Yeah,
and we got to listen to Donald Trump Jr. speak, and Donald Trump Jr. said, "I just came on and took it like a man."
Yeah,
I went to the deposition that they had for me because that's what I was taught. If you're a man, just what you do. And I really,
he was a fantastic speaker.
I appreciated that. And now Hunter, which we know is not a man.
Right.
I mean,
he's a child.
Oh,
he's a man child.
He's a spoiled brat. I mean, if you keep hearing Biden say my son didn't do anything, how many times when I was principal of the Valley High School did I hear parents say my son didn't do anything?
Not my dad.
So I'm just saying I was a principal for a decade at a private high school, and I heard it all.
The thing is that's why he's like that, right? His dad's been covering for him his whole life.
Yeah.
He's still, he's never passed the maturity age of 5.
Well, a lot of we've had some people in our life, and I know a lot about addiction because being part of sponsorship of Teen Challenge and the missions here in Bakersfield, California, which both those groups do a sensational job. That addiction is a real serious thing, but it does affect your mind, your mental capacity. So you get why Hunter has done some of these things, but you can't be exonerated for those things.
Right.
And you got to be, at one point, you got to be held accountable. We believe in, punitive.
Well, the addiction's one thing, but using your family name and office as a means of literally treasonous acts. I mean, how Joe is even in office at all? He's literally a criminal running the entire country.
Mike, it's hard to watch it because I brought up saying there is responsibility with your actions.
Yeah.
My dad brought up my brother and I up saying, "Don't do as I do as I say." And my brother and I followed the "don't do as I say, do as I." We followed what he did, which wasn't great for us, but we had to go through the hard knocks of being held accountable to our actions. I mean, I look at a lot of things in my life, even my divorce, as being held accountable to my actions. And you take a Hunter Biden, who's never been accountable to his actions, flaunts it in front of friends now who know what's going on, and they're just saying, "Hey, come on, Joe, come on, Hunter. We were there. You're making us out to look like liars now. You're the liars." And everyone's like, just because they want to protect Joe Biden or the presidency or the administration, they want to protect your job. So, yeah.
So we're ready for this video?
I like this one, Mike, because I like Ben. Ben's part of our circle of friends. And as my daughter is the talent director at Daily Wire. I like what Ben said. I like the format Ben's using too. We're trying to mimic some of their stuff, but I like the format Ben's using. So go ahead and play it.
I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
Oh, girl, don't set up the Twitter on fire.
I'm sorry. I mean,
What?
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
my Lord. What did you just say? Stop the tape right now. Okay.
I will say this.
What?
I mean, I don't know where my roots go to. I don't know how far back they go. I can't go on, I don't know how far back, and I don't know what country in Africa I'm from. But I do know that my roots are in Louisiana. I'm an American. And that's a colorless person, because we're all people. I have lots of things running through my veins.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of flack for saying you're not African American. You know that, right?
I don't label myself.
Okay. So I want you to say what you really mean by that.
What I really mean by that is I'm an American. That's what I really mean.
Why is this bad in any way, shape, or form? The fact that that's controversial is kind of insane to me. It truly is.
Right.
Mike, so when I move and you move to Nashville, do I say I'm a Bakersfield American?
No. Why would you say that?
Well, if I go, I don't know. I don't know. As I listened to that, and I thought,
not only that I don't know who the girl is they're talking to on there. We know Oprah, right? But she may have never even been to Africa, but she never lived there. So,
well, you know.
So is she even from there? Maybe like some previous. I mean, that's like me saying, "Hey, I'm from Ireland." No, I'm not. I have an ancestor that is.
Well, my wife always thought that she was European, and my wife and girls, I did not get our DNA done.
Good on you. Don't do that, by the way. There's a lot more. That's another rabbit hole.
They had their DNA done, and you and I have a friend named John McCormick.
Yeah.
And he's from Ireland, and John's a little feisty.
A little? And he's the definition of feisty.
And my wife, she's feisty too. And she's very capable. And her DNA came back, said she's from Ireland.
Surprise,
and I go,
surprise.
That makes sense. Well, she was wrong. She thought she was from one place, but she was from another. But
isn't John a little bit Scottish too?
I don't know. I mean,
McCormick.
I don't know, but I'm just saying it's okay to be from someplace else. But who are you now? And I think being an American is what defines us, but it also what unites us. One of the things I found out about in World War II, it was something that when America got involved with the cause against the Axis power, which was Japan, it was Mussolini and Hitler. And as they did, Americans came together regardless of your nationality, regardless of your religion, regardless of your persuasion for political parties. I think that it became something where everybody became an American and went after a cause. And I think it threw off the Axis powers because they didn't have a lot of respect for Americans. But after it, they're like, whoa. I think Japan said we woke a sleeping giant. And I do still believe there is that current here where if Americans are pressured and pushed, we will come together again.
I think so. One of the things Bongino says that I like a lot is I'm long on America.
Yeah.
Right.
Mike, you and I are, our 511 Media Group. I mean, we believe in our Constitution. We believe in our Bill of Rights. We believe in the Founding Fathers' philosophy of the country and how it's organized. And I'm glad for it that we have a judicial process that will keep the political process in check.
And that's why we're so deeply involved and becoming more involved with
Turning Point,
Turning Point USA. And that's one of the things that I want to do. And you and I haven't even talked about this, but I'm going to throw this out publicly because I know you'll be on board with it. We're going to be setting 511 Media Group up as a hub for TP Faith and kind of bringing some of those resources to you guys so that hopefully we can help promote that mission of just bringing God back into the country and the founding principles, the founding fathers, and the Constitution.
Yeah. Well, there again, our 511 Media Group, 511 is taken after a biblical verse in
1 Thessalonians
5:11, which says,
encourage one another just as you have been doing.
Yes. So that's when we do a show, it comes with that flavor. I know relevant rants. Let's just say this, Mike. I know relevant rants may come out there and hit you from maybe a different side. Like, oh, that's not Christian. I think when Jesus came to, let me just talk about this. And it came up in our devotions the other day. The religious leaders of the time tried to catch Jesus in a paradox with divorce. They said they came to him and they says, Jesus, what do you say about divorce? And he went all the way back. He says, God made a male and female, which we believe in. And he says, and that whatever God joins together, no one should separate. And they said, well, but Moses gave us this opportunity to file a decree of divorce, and we're divorced. And Jesus said this very one thing, which I think is a problem that we have in America, is because the hardness of man's heart.
Yeah.
That we're allowed to separate from each other. And I think if we can get over that hardness of hearts. So you even see in Jesus's time that people were trying to come against him as religious leaders and politicians and the system, where Moses wrote into a law that you could just write somebody a decree. Jesus says God hates divorce.
Right. But
he did it because of hardness of man's heart. So First Thessalonians 5:11 is our pillar, and 5:11 media are 3 pillars of faith, family, and freedom. And we believe we find that all in
Jesus and in the Constitution.
In the Constitution. So I like it, Mike. Anyway,
thanks guys for watching. Have a blessed day.
Let us know how you like it.
Yeah.
Or don't. Well, you're probably not listening to this if you don't like this. And that's okay. I want you to have a choice.
Talk soon.